So let me add another element to that. I've talked about how Phony Tim was part of that Dwight York sex abuse cult where most of their targets were young girls. So they can make sure they're young enough to bear children and they're bearing children with adult males. That's one element. But Dwight Malachi York was well known to have sexual relationships with other males. So whatever he demanded be done in that cult, that's how you stay in a cult. You're not going to stay in a cult if you don't do what they're telling you to do. You're not going to stay in a cult if you don't emulate the behaviors of the leader. And it's an expectation. He's still defending Dwight York. And one thing that you have to make sure is evident when you hear it, it's clear when you see it going on all around, is the concept of polyabuse. Polyabuse basically means someone who may appear to have a certain type and target when it comes to abusing, sexually degrading, sexually harassing. When it comes down to it, they're going to take whatever's easy in their mind. Whoever appears to be vulnerable doesn't mean they are vulnerable, but they perceive they're vulnerable. They're going to take that target and they're going to focus on that target. Do you recall a time in these YouTube streets where Dempsey was more happier than he appears when he's talking about male sex acts? Who's gay, who's DL, according to him. The excitement is off the chart. Go back to when it started with Lennon Honor. He was paying money to push those scenarios. He doled out money and was so happy with the rewards that he thought he got. And when you say rewards, the reactions of those who share the same sentiment, who have the same proclivities, who have the same compulsions, male on male sex acts. Now, on the side, he would try to pepper in issues about women, heterosexual relationships. And whenever he did that, he would start out talking about how the wife or the girlfriend is unhappy. Then it wasn't long before he went to the theme. They're unhappy because their husband or boyfriend, and he would name who they are. We know he started out with Lennon, meeting up with men, having sex with men, wanting to talk to men, running live streams with these lies. And he loved the fact that Lennon was getting a lot of attention, and it was shocking. Wait a minute, he's getting all this attention. He ran 2 campaigns and got $10,000 each plus. Well, guess what? I'm going to change that landscape. He knows those subjects are going to listen and tune in, absorb what he says, take it somewhere else so they can continue to get excited about their favorite topic. The more Dempsey focused on male, the more obvious it became those are his issues. Those are the issues of those he was running around with and paying. And now he's going back to what he loves the most. The same subjects that were involved with this male on male scenarios, male on male slander, male on male lies. Let's talk about male sex acts and let's pull in the most unsuspecting person or someone who will garner shock. Dempsey has no content, so it has to be shock value. It has to be so vile, reprehensible, and offensive. And the only way Dempsey feels he can get there is to run the scenario about yet another brother, DL, gay, cheating on his wife or girlfriend. But what did we come to find out, folks? Oh, if only we knew then what we knew now. He's the one having these problems, and I'm going to get into that in another video. But the diversion in his mind is sure shot. Put him with another man. Say they're in a relationship. But he never thought about the outcome. He never thought about the karma that would be delivered. And boy, was that karma ever delivered. And no, Absolutely have not forgotten about the crap that Carrie Ann pulled, the slander that she pulled in concert with others with this TikTok bullshit. Again, we have a heterosexual man being targeted, slandered, and accused of being interested in children. And yeah, of course, that always includes children of the same gender. Let me tell you this, there's a special place and a special description for these females who are so desperate to curry favor from these males that they're willing to sit on their panels to serve as they call them beards. They're willing to serve on their panels for diversionary purposes. They don't want to be all males up there, although we know that happened, but they feel somewhat of a protection if they can get females to come up there and repeat what they're saying in terms of insisting these male on male encounters are going on. So Carrie Ann is the latest fool. Tiff Griff did it. Tiff B did it. Catherine Brown did it. And NPW for a while did it. They love to be there because they think, I'll do whatever you want, so I will curry favor because I want male attention. I don't give a damn how I get it. I don't care if they're sitting up there talking about other men. You are running a live stream. I am being seen. I am being heard. People are listening to me. Here I am. That's how desperate it is for these females who are willing to sit on these panels. But we got to make sure Carrie Ann is fully aware. Don't think for a second that this shit is not going to continue to follow you everywhere you go. You are not going to get away with what you did. I told Carrie Ann that way back when she went on Let Me See Your Handcuffs demon chat or demon panel, spreading these same old slanderous bullshit lies about being a danger to children, about wanting male children, and you're an adult and doing all of these things that you surely would be arrested for if any of it was true. The goal is number one, to appease the males who aren't giving them attention otherwise. And number two, try to character hijack someone whose life, who experience, whose family situation, whose likability, whose self-respect and respect is something they can't even imagine because they've never experienced it. But they see other people and how they respond to someone like Rev G. But damn it, I'm going to make sure someone like Rev G. But damn it, I'm going to make sure I character hijacked you because I so cannot stand what I'm all about. And you already got that. She's up here lying about having a master's degree. You got to come online and lie about what you don't have and claim that you do have it. Have a clue, people. She came on to YouTube telling all kinds of lies, claiming to have all this education that she didn't have. And I already told you all when I went and looked up that credential, it was very clear she didn't have no damn master's degree. But isn't it interesting how she's targeting Rev G, who does have a master's degree? Isn't it interesting? She could not stand the Owl Show and ridiculed him because he had a bachelor's. He just had a bachelor's. He only had a bachelor's. And what do we find out? So does Carrie Ann. Can't even be satisfied with what you have. You have to make it up. And since that's not happening fast enough, let me go ahead and join in on this same sex, sexual orientation insistence, this sexual orientation silo that I'm going to force others into because I am going to get accepted for what I am doing. See, that's the setup for these three. They're not the only ones. By no means. Antonio Johnson couldn't get enough. He also had the compulsion. He didn't give a damn. He turned down overtures to address the issue because the pull was too strong. The compulsion was too great. I'm getting accepted by what I'm doing. I'm accusing innocent people of criminal acts with children. I'm accusing someone who has nothing to do with Eddie Long. I'm going to make sure you know that I'm telling you this is Eddie Long. You did what Eddie Long did. which was criminal behavior, which was sexually exploit minors, which is take advantage of people who came to worship. Absolutely nothing in any relationship to Eddie Long, but the compulsion is so strong, I'm going to keep repeating it because I know I'm going to get accepted. And right smack dab in the middle of that, what happened? He was cut off at the knees right in the middle of his bullshit. And they still haven't recovered. We're not done. Dempsey was caught up at the knees right in the middle, too. But DJ Jackass, Antonio Johnson, was absolutely clueless. He had already filed complaints against Dempsey. So DJ Jackass Antonio Johnson was 100% blindsided and taken out right smack dab in the middle of his slanderous campaign against us. Serves him right. That's why they're all shook. They're shook because it happened midstream. The compulsion is too great. Escaping reality is a must, and they have to get a replacement. There has to be a transfer. There has to be a displacement of who they are unto others. That's how they're able to temporarily soothe. They don't give a damn who they link up with and do it, even those who have dogged them out. That's how strong the compulsion is. Of course, folks, I've got much more coming your way. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.